Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to continue our NFL predictions week 8. Last week, I had another good week predicting, went 12-3, which brings my total season record up to 67-40. Now, I do want to take the moment and apologize. I thought last week was going to be National Tight Ends Day because in past weeks it's been on a week 7. This year, it's actually this Sunday when no one has a bye week. So, every NFL tight end would get an opportunity to celebrate a day for them. I don't know why I thought it was the third week 7. It was like that pretty much the last 3 years. It's been on week 7 for tight ends day, but that's besides the point. But this week, no one's on bye weeks, so we're gonna get a full 16 slate of games, and we're gonna start off with the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Los Angeles Rams. The Vikings suffered their first loss of the season to the Detroit Lions, but it was a well contested game. The and for the Rams, they pretty much got the win over the Raiders, which wasn't that hard to do, but they did get the running game going, and the Raiders are pretty much one of the worst teams in the league right now. So, looking at this game, this could be the I can see this go in any direction. The Rams, they're slowly getting healthier. They are expecting Puka Nacua could be returning this week or next week. Same as Cooper Kupp, who is for some reason in the trading block this week. So outside of that, I do think this is going to be a very, very close game. I'm going to roll with the road team Vikings to win, but I will not be surprised if the Rams pull it off. And then we have an AFC North showdown between the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cleveland Browns. Ravens won again against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lamar Jackson, 5 touchdown passes. Second time he did that on Monday Night Football. And for the Browns, just when things could get any worse, they do. But depending on who you're talking, things could be getting better. And you now know what I'm referring to, right? The Deshaun Watson injury. Hope he has a very safe and speedy recovery, but yet he was largely ineffective anyway. And to keep this brief, I don't know who's truly starting this game. I'm assuming it's going to be Jameis Winston. So this Sunday we can see if the problem was Deshaun and not the offensive line injuries or etc. etc. But Ravens right now, they're playing pretty much the best football in the AFC despite having only 2 losses. I gotta roll with the Ravens. Then we have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Detroit Lions, and we have a double-digit favorite. Well, the Titans, they lost again to the Bills. It wasn't even close. And for the Lions, they ended the Vikings' undefeated hopes by giving them their first loss. This game being played in Detroit, I mean, yeah, come on now. Detroit shouldn't have a problem here, but again, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, you just never know. And following that, we have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Miami Dolphins. And the Cardinals, Monday Night Football on ESPN Plus, a game that I watched. That game was very weird to witness. But regardless, Cardinals got a win at home against the Chargers. Kyler Murray looked okay for the most part. And the Dolphins lost on the road to the Colts, but that's not beside the point. Their season could truly begin because Tua Tagovailoa is set to return this week, which means the Dolphins can finally experience an offense for once. And in this game, they are giving the Dolphins a 3-point favorite, but I don't know how Tua's going to look. First game back since that concussion, he could look like he did look last year, or he could just look like scared and rusty, for lack of a better word. So this game, I'm gonna roll with the home team Dolphins to win this game. I can't wait to see this offense finally unleash itself now that they got Tua back. And then we have, oh god, the AFC East matchup between the New York Jets taking on the New England Patriots. The New York Jets, lost again. And for Devontae Adams, I think he became the first person to lose to the Steelers in back-to-back games. That's got to be honorary for him. Yeah, things are not going well for the Jets. As for the Patriots, they did lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but Drake May, he has promise. That's pretty much what the Patriots are just going to build upon. They know they're not going to be a good team. They just want to see progress and growth from Drake May from here on out. That's all this is all about. But these two teams, they already seen each other this season, and the last time they played was Week 3 Thursday Night Football, in which the Jets decisively won. Ironically, this was the Jets' final win of the season, and they could go in for a season sweep of the Patriots for the first time since, I believe, late in the 90s, something like that. So I honestly do think this could be a toss-up game because the Jets, they're in turmoil. The Patriots, well, they're playing inspired football, just not winning football. All right, Jets, I'm going to give you the win, but if you lose, I'm done picking you if you lose this game. And then we have another team that has already played this year. The Atlanta Falcons taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Atlanta Falcons suffered a weird home loss to the Seattle Seahawks. It wasn't even that close, but we did get the debut of Michael Penix. And for the Buccaneers, not only did they lose to the Ravens, they lost their top two wide receivers in that game, with Mike Evans injuring his hamstring and Chris Godwin dislocating his ankle, ending his season. Wish him nothing but a speedy recovery. So yeah, things are looking very, very. Buccaneers are experiencing a bit of turmoil right now, and they'll be wearing their creamsicle uniforms for this game. Hence why you have the old Buccaneer logo here. And because now, let me before I make my pick, they already played each other, like I mentioned, on Thursday Night Football, and one of the better Thursday Night Football games we've gotten. Which the Falcons got an overtime win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And in this game, given the Bucks' injuries on offense, I have to roll with the Falcons to win. But hey, who knows what the Bucks are capable of doing with a short-handed Bucks team could do. Right now, they just look like the short end of the stick. Moving on, we have the Green Bay Packers taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Green Bay walk-off game winner against the Houston Texans. In Jacksonville, a London win over the New England Patriots. And okay, Packers they look pretty solid the last couple of weeks. And while the Jacksonville Jaguars they won two out of their last three, so that's something to hold their heads up high for. But they still have signs of being the worst team in the league. I mean, I'm still not impressed with that defense. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Green Bay Packers to win. Although their recent history in Florida have shown that they have struggled in that state. Might have been just an Aaron Rodgers thing. Who knows? But I expect this game to be way closer than what the people expect. Just saying. And then we have an AFC South matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. And these two teams have already played each other. They played week 1, which the Texans got a 2-point win. Well, the Colts, they beat the Dolphins. Anthony Richardson came back, but he looked kind of underwhelming doing so. And you already got the crowd starting to rumble like, if we had Joe Flacco in that game, we probably would have smoked the Dolphins. And the Texans, they lost to the Green Bay Packers. CJ Stroud had his worst game yet this year, only throwing for less than 80 yards passing the entire game. So yeah, you could tell that the passing offense without Nico Collins, they miss him sorely. Hopefully they could get him back very, very soon. So in this game, Texans coming off a loss. I gotta go with the Texans to win. Although it's a division matchup, you never know with these type of games. And then we have a game that got flexed out of the 425 spot, with the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, aka the white Cincinnati Bengals for this week. Last week, both teams got wins, divisional wins at that. The Eagles smoked the Giants, not hard to do, and the Bengals beat the Browns on the road. Joe Burrow finally exercised that Cleveland Brown demon that he has always had in his career, although he made it look much harder than it seems. And for this game, whenever these two teams play, always some weird fluky stuff always pops off. If you don't know, the last time these two teams matched up, the game ended in a tie. And if you remember that 2008 game, in one of the worst games of all time, that game ended in a tie, in which McNabb infamously said, "I ain't know the NFL can end in a tie." Yeah, they do. They can end in a tie. Hopefully, no weird stuff happened in this game. And they're giving Cincinnati 2.5 points in this one. Very, very strange. And I've kind of gone back and forth with this one. I was going to pick the Cincinnati Bengals to win this game, but I have not been impressed with them at all. And the Eagles, they're starting to figure things out on both sides of the ball. Granted, they played two of the worst teams in the league, but that's beyond the point. I'm going to give the safe pick to the Philadelphia Eagles, but I'll be rooting strong for the Bengals. Hopefully, they can unlock their offensive potential. And now we have the Drew Brees Bowl, in which New Orleans Saints will be taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Saints, they're falling apart. They really are falling apart. Their offense did not look good on Thursday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. Spencer Rattler, he's trying, but again, this team has a rash of injuries, especially on the offense. Meanwhile, for the Chargers, they don't have a passing offense. I mean, what happened? I mean, yes, I know what happened. All their top targets, they went to other teams. Justin Herbert, he just doesn't have enough. He does not have enough of a supporting cast to distribute the ball to. And as a result, they lost to the Cardinals on a walk-off game-winning field goal. But at least the Chargers have a defense now, so that's promising. So in this game, given that both teams are pretty much at a crossroads, it seems, I'm going to give the slight edge to the Chargers to win this game. I trust their defense more, and if it's Spencer Rattler going out there against a really good defense, it might be a long day for him. So I'm going to roll with the Chargers to win. Next, we have what should be a good game. The Buffalo Bills taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle ended their 3-game losing streak by getting a win over the Atlanta Falcons. Good for them. And the Bills got an easy win over the Titans. And their new toy, Amari Cooper, he looked promising in his first game. Not a bad first game for him. This game, oh boy. I think this one's going to be one of the fun games of the week that no one's talking about. Bills playing good football. Seattle, they're playing okay football, but better than what the people anticipated. And I know this game's going to be played in Seattle, which gives Seattle a little bit of an edge. But because the Bills are a slightly bigger juggernaut of a team, I got to go with them to win. And plus, I don't know the health status of DK Metcalf. I got to see what happens with that. And then we have the trash bin Carolina Panthers taking on the Denver Broncos. The Panthers losing again against the Commanders. No defense, no offense, no special teams, no talent, no hope, no nothing for this team. David Tepper just sold the team already. And the Broncos picked up a big Thursday night win over the Saints. I'm just going to keep this brief. Broncos probably going to put up 50 points in this game. Let's move on. And now we have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Raiders, in which the Chiefs will win this game. It's because the Raiders don't have an offense. Let's move on. And the Cowboys taking on the 49ers, and we all know the 49ers own the Cowboys. Not wasting my time with this one either, because the 49ers, I know they lost last week. The Cowboys are coming off a bye week, and they're probably going to get Micah Parsons back in this game. But come on now. Cowboys are not that good of a team. Y'all know this. And another team, I gotta keep it brief again, because the Giants are the epitome of trash, and the Steelers are 6-2. Or well, they're gonna be 6-2 after this week somehow. So the Steelers, they pretty much gonna pick up a very easy win over the Giants. Although I can see the Giants a slight chance of winning, but let's be real. Daniel Jones stinks in prime time. Hell, he stinks in general. Let's move on. And lastly, the game of the week that I decided 2 weeks ago, the Chicago Bears taking on the Washington Commanders. The Bears had a bye week last week, but they went to London and got a pretty decisive win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Caleb Williams, he after a shaky rookie start to his season, he's starting to look comfortable out there. That's a good sign. And speaking of comfortable, Washington Commanders picked up a win over the Carolina Panthers. Jaden Daniels looked comfortable until he realized he hurt his ribs, and he's week to week, so I'm probably not going to expect him to play. But in his absence, Marcus Mariota, he played very well against the Carolina Panthers, which is not hard to do because the Panthers have next to no defense. This game, it was supposed to be a battle of number one versus number two, but Jaden Daniels, like I said, he's probably gonna miss this one due to injury. So, because of that, I gotta give it a slight edge to the Chicago Bears this week. I think the Mariota game was a fluke. He's gonna go up against a better defense in the Bears. Bears got healthy. They had an extra week to heal from that London trip. But I will say, if Jaden Daniels was playing in this game, I would have leaned towards the Commanders to win. That's all I'll say. And that concludes our Week 8 NFL predictions. I feel like this video went really, really quicker than I thought. Maybe because there were some trash games that happened this week. Made it look a lot swifter. But here goes. So tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please gamble safely. And I'll see you next time.